So there's a new game coming out called Black Jewel Reborn, and this game is for the Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, but also is going to be for the Super Nintendo and Nintendo Entertainment System. I thought this game looked pretty cool. My first impression as soon as I saw the screenshots was, damn, I can't wait to play this. It looks badass. So I did some research, and it turns out there is a demo that's playable right now that you can get. So this game, Black Jewel Reborn, is a Kickstarter. And I haven't funded too many Kickstarters in my time, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to fund this one yet. However, I have played the demo, and I want to give my impressions and thoughts on what I've gone through. So the only demo that I could find available right now is the one for the Sega Genesis. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. At first, it kind of looks like, oh, this could be a spiritual successor to Golden Axe. But the screenshots I saw looked more like Roston, which is a classic arcade where you're just a barbarian, side-scrolling, holding a sword and slicing up enemies, getting from one end of the levels to the next. However, when I played this game, it did have some elements of those games, but ultimately, it feels like Castlevania. Now, why do I say it feels like Castlevania? Well, for one, there's a lot of usage of a whip. Well, a lot of uses of the whip if you're the female character, Julia. Now, the whip isn't quite like Simon Belmont's whip, but the similarities come in where you're whipping these hanging bodies rather than candles or things like that, and you're getting power-ups from inside of these things. But you can also break crates and treasure chests in order to find those power-ups. Although mostly it seems to be some kind of money. The play control here is pretty good, your movement's pretty fluid, your weapons feel solid when they hit against enemies. The one thing I don't like is there's no duck, so you can't crouch down and avoid projectiles coming at you. So what you're going to do instead is a lot of jumping. I assume this is done by design rather than a feature they're going to implement in later. Now the graphics here are pretty great. I really enjoy what I've seen so far of the Sega Genesis version. And the Super Nintendo version seems to look very similar. Heck, even the NES version appears to be a decent looking port of these 16-bit versions. But there is so little footage of the NES version, it's hard to say for sure. Oh yeah, and did I mention there was a Game Boy version as well? So one of the features that does make this a little bit more like Golden Axe is you can play alone, or you can play two players simultaneously with a friend. One of you controls the barbarian Ryan, and the other one controls the Amazon woman Julia. Now each character has 3 normal attacks and a jump attack, and then you have a special attack that is charged slowly when you kill the enemies. Now supposedly there's magic in here, or as they describe it, you can call upon your god to help you and it will destroy everything on the screen, but I have not quite figured out how that works yet. To be fair, I only played through this demo once, and I might be missing the way to do it on the controller, because I haven't seen any kind of instruction manual or anything like that, so I don't know the exact buttons or combination of buttons to use. I just plugged it in and started playing. To me, that's usually the beauty of classic games, is there's only so many button combinations that anyone can pick it up and play it and be able to master it through repetition. Now the music here, pretty damn good, right? They have a sound test, and it looks like you can play 11 different tracks just in this demo alone. And most of those tracks are pretty slammin'. I'm a big fan of the way the Genesis sound chip sounds, so it might have that advantage. I'm sure that the other versions will have a decent soundtrack though. Whoever's composing music here seems very competent in what they're doing. So overall, what do I think of Black Jewel Reborn? It's too early for me to tell if I want to support the Kickstarter or not, but I do think it's worth putting out there and letting people know this is available, because it seems to be a pretty decent game. I just don't know if it's the right game for me, but being a fan of homebrew video games, especially those on Nintendo Entertainment System or Sega Genesis, I have to at least support this, because I think it's being done with passion, and to me that alone is worth promoting. But what do you think? Does this game look good to you? Have you tried this game? If you want to try it, I'll leave a link below in the description where you can download it, load it into your favorite emulator or EverDrive, and go ahead and give it a go, and then let me know what you thought of the game. With that being said, until next time, see you soon.